Roundtable discussion. It is Matt Odom, Al Rainey. Larry will be joining us tonight. It is the Saturday Night Slam Masters edition, and we are on a Saturday night for a change, partly due to work schedules and traveling this week. So we said, hey, we're going to do the show, but we're going to do it on Saturday for the first time. And Al, how you doing, my boy?
Man, I'm doing well. I can't complain. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Glad to have you in the building tonight. And right out of the gate, we're going to do our hauls early, man. So I've actually got some stuff I got over the last couple of weeks that I can share with you all. Some stuff I've been on the road. I picked up on the road. Some stuff I've been kind of holding on to here for a couple of weeks. So we'll go ahead and get things started. I've got the Machine Man #2. The Hot House of X #2. I've got Superman 279. I only bought that because I like the cover. Captain America 180, first appearance of Nomad. This is a book I think can that might grab some traction down the line. So you might want to pick that one up. Al, I've been trying to find, every time I go out, I try to find that Quasar, man. That thing is hard to find. But
Yeah,
this is one that I think that people might want to pick up there. Dexter's Laboratory #1.
Is that DC?
Yep.
IDW did a run, and I got like 2 issues of it. So it's like it was a 4-issue miniseries. But yeah, that's my boy right there, Dexter.
Archie Comics. I picked these up while I was at the Comic Dimension this week. Betty and Me 137. The Flashdance cover.
I was just thinking about Maniac when you showed that.
Mm-hmm. Betty and Veronica 344. Picked these up this past Sunday. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 95, second print. Silver Surfer 81. Incredible Hulk 354. New Avengers 54, second printing, black and white cover. For those who don't know, this is when Brother Voodoo becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. Picked up this one of 100 variant. Minimum Carnage Alpha #1. Ultimate Comics #26, first Ultimate Taskmaster. Thor #8. Jane Foster revealed as Thor. Coffin Bound #1.
Is that a new book?
Yeah, this came out, man. This shit is hard to. Oh Lord, excuse me, Facebook. This is hard to find. They actually had them up there, but it was basically, man, you had to spend money to get it. That's just one of those books that, in a sense, I can agree with the way they got it, because you had to spend so much before you could pick up a copy, because it stops people from just buying all of the books. Because they'll send people, people get slick, they'll bring 3 or 4 people in to get the same book. Black Panther #22. Use this camera. Millennium #2. First openly gay character in the DC universe.
Is that villain that sniffed cocaine, I think?
Mm-hmm. So I think so. If I'm not mistaken, I have to double check. I believe that.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 171. Adam Hughes. I mean, always pick up Adam Hughes. Need to bag those too. Actually, find these in the 99 cent bin. Blue Devil 14, first appearance of the Red Devil. Shout out to Larry for finding this for me, man. Blade #1. And we have Batman Adventures #7. Also, Assassination #1. This is a new book. And also have the variant of Excellence #1. So I've got A and B covers. And this actually got option.
Yeah, I think Amazon picked it up.
Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty good read too, man. So that is that. And so also for those, I can just kind of swing my camera back a little bit. If you look back up on the shelf there, right. Let me see, I can do this right here, do this right. If you look right there, to get myself situated, there's Soundwave, the reissue. And that was my pickups over the last few weeks. Al, you got anything you picked up in the last few weeks? Anything?
Nah, man, all of my stuff I'm still waiting to go pick up at Origin Store. So I have some stuff the next go around. So
all right, the suitcase.
The Halliburton.
Yep. All right, so let's get down to business. Came out about 2 days ago. Marvel has stated that Disney is in process of having one of their big series, big shows, big characters will be appearing on the Disney Plus streaming platform. You know, my guess is it's probably Incredible Hulk, because I don't think Incredible Hulk is primed for the big screen. I mean, even though that last Incredible Hulk was a good movie, in my opinion. And what do you think, man? What you think? Where do you think Marvel's going to be going with this, man? The DC rather, but I mean, because at this point, I mean, I think what they're going to start doing is putting characters on the streaming network to get you familiar with them, and then they'll eventually put them on camera. I mean, on the big screen.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I believe that everything that they're doing is catered to I believe it's catered to the whole plan of I think, well, let me just say this. I think a lot of the shows, when it comes down to the Marvel side of things, are actually geared around future phases of the movies and TV shows. I think that with everything that they're doing, in some way, it's going to tie into something bigger. As far as who the character is or who the property is, it's kind of hard to say, man. I'm actually hoping that it's not the Hulk. It may very well be the Hulk. The reason why I say that, man, is that the Hulk has big screen potential, but I don't know what the particulars or the specifics are with Disney or Marvel Studios and Universal, because Universal, last I read, they own the cinematic rights to the Hulk. So personally, I don't see why Universal doesn't do a Sony and just work with Marvel, because to me, you would think that based on the success that Marvel Cinematic or Marvel Studios has had with Sony with Spider-Man, that they would say, hey, that could be a little bit extra money on our end. But that's for a whole nother discussion. But I don't know, man. I mean, they're doing Loki, they're doing Captain, well, not Captain America, but they're doing Falcon and Winter Soldier, Wanda and Vision, and a couple other shows. So it's kind of hard to say. So you think that it might be the Hulk?
Yeah, I actually do. Excuse me, everybody. Operating on 5 hours of sleep, everybody. So please excuse my yawn. I actually do. I actually think it probably will be the Hulk, man. I don't think I just don't see him being a character that you could probably build a whole movie around. Um, Also, well, we got Falcon, so I'm trying to think who else could it possibly be. Uh,
Well, did the article? What did the article specify that it was a specific character or?
they're just rumored to have. I'm gonna go re-look it up, man. So I think it's just rumored. Let me see here. Let's go. A big Marvel series is coming to Disney Plus, but it's just part of Phase 4. Let's see here. It's just kind of little vague, uh, and everybody's kind of heading towards what I said. It's like they're heading towards they're thinking it's the Hulk because everybody else that's in the Avengers seems to have something going on, in their perspective. Like you said, Hawkeye and Falcon. Not Hawkeye and Falcon, but
Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Winter Soldier and Falcon. I mean, and a Vision. I mean, everybody else has something going on except the Hulk. Hell, it could be She-Hulk. I mean, you don't know. I mean,
yeah,
you just don't know.
Now I could I mean, I can actually see that, and that actually, in all honesty, that would make perfect sense. That actually can open up the door for Disney Plus to have a She-Hulk TV series that could bring in Mark Ruffalo, aka the Hulk, on cameo appearances, keep the Hulk relevant, and also keep him at a point to where he can appear in future Marvel movies. Personally, I think that the Hulk has not been given his fair shake because the Hulk, depending upon who's writing him, has been a very interesting character in the past. And currently with that Immortal Hulk storyline, that's one of the best books right now coming out of Marvel from what I hear. For all intents and purposes, I'm gonna probably buy the graphic novel when it comes out, but I think She-Hulk would be I think that would be an excellent choice. I mean, and they can tie She-Hulk in kind of like the whole Netflix shows, where they can do a She-Hulk TV show, and then if necessary, bring her in on the big screen. That way, that whole continuity thing that Marvel or Disney was touting about is all connected could come into play. So I could see She-Hulk, but I mean, if you look at the whole catalog of Marvel characters, man, I mean, starting from A-list characters going all the way down to your Z-list, that could be anybody. I mean, I know it's probably going to be somebody that's well known, but even still, that could be Moon Knight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point because it's a lot of talk this week of well, in the last 2 weeks they've been talking about Moon Knight popping up, and of course, and this is just for collectors. Moon Knight actually this week, I think topped a 9.8. I think topped for I want to say 4,800. 4,800. Werewolf by Night 32 broke its own record.
Wow.
And also the 80s Moon Knight book is out. It's starting to get expensive, and of course the Marvel Spotlight on Moon Knight is starting to get expensive as well. But that would be a great property to put on there, considering his following. Now, could you do a movie on that? Yeah, but as me and Larry talked about this off air plenty of times, is that in order to do a correct Moon Knight movie, you got to flesh him out. I mean, you just can't just throw out a Moon Knight movie and then he's out there. It's kind of like Batman. It's so many levels to who the character is that it would take about four films to get him, situated. So yeah, this is a character that I could probably see him, on the Disney Plus net. Well, Disney Plus network. Well, not necessarily Disney Plus, because this actually leads into what else. What I was going to bring up too is that FX is exploring bringing in some of these darker end shows to their network, a
Mm-hmm.
la Daredevil. Uh, Makes perfect sense. Okay, who that just stated that Moon Knight will be a Hulu TV show. That makes sense because Disney owns Hulu. There's just so many. There's so many avenues that they could go with this, with these darker side characters. So, and like I don't know if we mentioned this when the deal first went through, but I can tell you, man, there's no way that Disney did this deal and did not have any of this stuff lined up. They know what's what. They've got an idea of. They know exactly who's going where and who's doing what. And I guess it's one of those things where it's just as speculators, man, it's just hard to nail down who's going where. But they know. And if Marvel said that, yeah, there's gonna be a big series coming, you know, it's just and it's who that just stated in the chat, you know, it's just a whole lot of options. There's a lot of options right now, and a lot of characters could be going a lot of different places. It's damn near like watching the NBA draft. Kind of got an idea what who's they're getting drafted, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't know exactly where they're going. So go ahead, Al.
And one thing I just thought about as far as what we just discussed, and I thought about this like, and it's so ingenious, and it's like by us discussing it, it kind of like this light bulb just started like flickering. The possibilities with the Disney Plus as it pertains to the Marvel Cinematic Universe are endless. They could do a show, and they could start a show or a series of shows on Disney Plus or Hulu, or whichever platform. And at some point in time, they could do like a crossover kind of thing, to where they could, like, say for example, you got a Hawkeye and you got me messing up now. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? So you got Falcon, Winter Soldier. You got Wanda Vision, of course. Those are the ones that we know about. But just say, for example, they do add a She-Hulk TV show. On down the road, they could actually do something kind of similar to what CW is doing with the TV Arrowverse, and do a motion picture that actually encompasses whatever properties that they have on Disney Plus in the form of TV shows, since they're using characters and actors and actresses from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that could be a springboard to actually bring in other properties on the big screen, like She-Hulk, like Red Hulk, like Moon Knight, like other characters that we've talked about, Machine Man. I don't think that it would be limited. Those characters would be limited to just the Disney Plus. I think they could use the Disney Plus platform to test the waters for certain characters to see how they go. And quite honestly, and I know this is a day late and $8 short, but honestly, something I think along the lines of the Inhumans would have probably been more beneficial, or would have done a lot better on that Disney streaming service than it was with ABC. I think that was just a rush situation right there, which caused that to tank. So,
I mean that could be it. They could say, you know what, we're gonna put some money behind the humans. Actually put out a. We're gonna recast everybody. Put out a good show, what have you. I mean, that could actually be a possibility. Which, by the way, Spec people watching Spec, go get Inhumans books, because you can go get them for nothing now. Uh, you know, you just never know. And then I want to give a shout. Oh, Shannon has joined the fray in the chat. Said, I told y'all Blue Marvel.
hey, you know what, Shannon? Good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays, but I bought that Blue Marvel when it first came out. Like, I bought one. I'm missing 2 issues, but the crazy part of that Blue Marvel, and shout out to Comic Tom, the crazy part about that Blue Marvel is that the whole miniseries is like 5 issues, and all of them had low print runs, like all of them. Like the 2 through 5 had a lower print run than issue 1. And those are starting to creep up in price too. But speaking, and I hope I'm not deviating off the subject, but with all the rumors there's a lot of rumors going around with Marvel right now. And I can't remember his name, but there's the rumor that they're actually looking to cast Blue Marvel for a future movie endeavor. So it's the speculating, man. It's starting to get crazy out there, though. But yeah,
I mean, it's actually a jungle out there, man. it's literally a junk out there. Yeah, it's anything Hulk related cannot have its own TV show or movie. They can be in other people's movies, but they cannot have their own. I think they could actually have a TV show. I think you could probably do a TV. I mean, we had one. Now, if you want to count that, if you want to count that as a show, I mean, we had one. But movie wise, I mean, it all just depends, man. It depends on who's in this day and age. It all depends on who's directing it and where they're going to be taking it and what does it connect to. I mean, everybody knows on this panel how I feel about the first 2 Thor movies and Iron Man 3. So there's some stuff, man. I think you can do some stuff if you do it on a stream. I think like you said, I think the streaming network just opens up a lot more doors to where you don't have to bank everything on somebody showing up in a movie.
Right.
It makes it easier. As somebody who's worked in television before, I can tell you, cost wise and production wise, it makes it easier to do something on a smaller scale versus banking it. Because let's just be real, every movie and I hope that every Marvel movie that comes out is good, but a lot of these movies can be polarizing, kind of like how Captain Marvel was. A lot of folks put a lot of stock into Captain Marvel, and we all saw how that turned out. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, Larry's gonna come on here and say I'm out of order for saying that, but Captain Marvel on 1 to 10 was like a 6 or 7 movie, and that's being generous. Yeah, that's bingo, right? As I said that, you put it up, and that's being generous. And so, it's just one of these things where you just don't necessarily know what Disney's gonna do. All we can do is kind of sit back, wait, and watch. But I can tell you that there are a lot of different ways they could go. There are a lot of different characters. I mean, hell, how many times we bring up Power Pack, Thunderbolts?
I'm telling you, I keep telling people
these are all properties that will be really good for network.
I'm telling you.
So I mean, all we can do is be patient and see. Hell, it could even be the Century. I mean, you just never know what the way Disney is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move to the next topic, which is one of the craziest things I read today. Absolutely crazy. When I saw it, I was like, I've got to bring this up, and I just was like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm actually making the banner right now to go up on the go up here because it's gonna get some laughs in the chat once I do it here, and that is that RoboCop. I said, wait a minute. You telling me they're gonna do a sequel to that movie that came out about 5 years ago? Did anybody in the group chat? Did anybody in that movie see that last RoboCop movie? Please tell me there's somebody in there that saw that last. Did you see that last RoboCop movie, Al?
Yeah, with Samuel Jackson in it.
Yeah. That's right. Because he was the villain, wasn't he? Yeah, he was the villain.
Yeah, he was like an evil politician, some crap.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this, man. I don't know how I feel. I mean, the movie was okay. I mean, who's directing it? Like I said, that's my new thing now. Who's directing it? Because that determines whether or not who's producing it and who's directing it. I mean, I don't know about this one, man. Yeah, if Shannon says no, who that says yes. He said, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. Who that? I don't know about that one, brother. That's pushing the envelope. Go ahead, Al.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I mean this with the utmost sincerity. There's a saying that goes, "There's nothing new under the sun," and that is the truth. Everything has its seasons, and everything returns. My thing is this: if done properly, it could be a great movie. But where can you go with RoboCop without retelling the story again and again and again and again? It's got to be a fresh idea. It's got to be something that's somewhat new or somewhat innovative. It comes a point in time that you put yourself out there, and it's like, okay, so we're gonna have another RoboCop movie. They're working on another Terminator movie. Like, yeah, these properties are good. There was some feel good 80s stuff. There still is not a RoboCop movie to this day. To this day, that can match the ferocity and the entertainment and the shock value that the first one did, because they messed the old boy up. That got within the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie. I mean, he got shot to pieces. That set the tone for that movie. And in my opinion, it's one of the better movies. Generally, the first is typically the better movie. In some instances, that kind of like not the case. But anyway, I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm interested to see who the director is, who the lead is, whether or not they're going to use the same dude they used back in the day. Like I said, man, I don't know. I mean, eventually everything I think I read somewhere, and God, I'm not trying to get off topic, but they were working on a reboot of Big Trouble in Little China. And I'm like, why?
For what?
Exactly. I mean, but see, that's the thing right now. And if you look at the trend in Hollywood, you have remakes, reboots, comic book movies, and then in the small corner in the other end of the room, you got everything else. So that's what's permeating and dominating Hollywood now, and soon to be kaiju movies with Godzilla and all, King Kong and all that kind of stuff. I think there's going to be a upswing on those types of movies. But I mean, if it's done right, I probably won't go see it. But I mean, if it's done right, it could probably be successful. But it come a time to just put certain things to rest. I want to see a remake of Back to the Future. Just leave it alone,
Yeah, I actually went when I saw that in the theater when it came out. I actually went and saw that with a friend of mine. Yeah, that was it was all right. I mean, when bad, it was a lot of holes in it, but I mean, it wasn't that bad of a movie. Let's move on here to something that is near and dear to my heart. Mortal Kombat has started casting their characters, man, for the movie. So as of right now, it looks like they've got Sub-Zero, Jax, Liu Kang, and Melina all casted. And I tell you, man, I was actually looking forward to this, man, because it's finally an R-rated Mortal Kombat. They're actually taking this serious. And I mean, shit, I personally, the first one wasn't bad to me. I mean, the first one was for that time. We talking 95. Was a good movie for 95, man. Of course, now you watch it looks like something that would be on PBS. But I mean, back then, I mean, that was top of the line stuff in 95. Now we're not going to talk about the other one. That movie is not. We're not going to bring the other one up on this show. But that first one was outstanding. And I think that if they like, it looks like they're taking it serious. So with them taking it serious, I'm all aboard. I'm just praying that the trailer, when I first see that first trailer, that I mean, I really, honestly, be honest with God, all they have to do is just follow the tone of the game. Just follow the tone of the last game, because that was a dark. This last Mortal Kombat, and this is for somebody who that last Mortal Kombat game. This is somebody who played Mortal Kombat all his life. That was a dark Mortal Kombat. This last one was very dark. The last two have been extremely dark. And if they follow that tone with the movie, then we've got a winner on our hands. And it's the same thing that I would say for, and I know it's a little bit off topic, but they're supposed to be doing Spawn, and if Spawn has the same dark tone that they had on the HBO show, it's a winner. So I think, I mean, and with special effects now, I'm definitely interested to see how they're gonna do Mortal Kombat. So, Al, what's your thoughts, man? That they've started out casting and they're starting to get in order, and we actually having a full-fledged Mortal Kombat movie on deck.
Well, I mean, it's good it's supposed to be done right this time. Well, I was laughing because when you started talking about the movie that shall remain nameless, I only thought about one person in that movie. I mean, the movie itself is terrible. And I will have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, I own that movie because at the time I didn't know any better. But that was Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to say the sequel name, but I'm just gonna say this one word, Nightwolf. But anyway, I think it goes back to my whole statement with RoboCop, man. If it's done properly, if they have a vision and the vision it closely fits the narrative of the video game, then I'm sold. I will go see that one, and I will say this: if they follow the trend, because really, when they rebooted everything in MK9, that story was on point. 10 was on point. 11 was cool. It kind of dipped a little bit, in my opinion, from Mortal Kombat 10. But if they keep that same tone, if they keep that same mindset, and they adopt the principle that nobody's safe, like The Walking Dead, because of course you're dealing with a tournament where people get ripped in half. I'm all for it, man. I can't wait to see it. Like you said, when that trailer drops, I want to see what they show in that trailer, and then at that point, I can formulate a more solid opinion on what is to come. So,
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see on that, man. I'm interested to see how this is gonna pan out. I think it is slated for a 2021 release date, so we got a year. I'm pretty sure we'll get a trailer by this time next summer,
mhm.
at least a teaser. Or we'll probably get a teaser by the end, probably by early part of next year. We'll get a teaser, at least a teaser for it. So, and images to start coming out, so we'll be able to continue on diagnosing that as we get close to it. Also, SYFY has canceled the Krypton and Lobo spinoff series, and this is gonna be a baby rant, man. This won't be a big one. This is gonna be a little baby rant. But I don't understand why DC is doing this. You've got a streaming network. These shows should be on your streaming network. These shows should be put out like the boys. You have a whole season ready to go. People are paying for that product. And you go to SYFY channel that is not traditionally known for shows like this. They're known for shows like Quantum Leap. There's Z Nation, outer space stuff, aliens, stuff like that. You put Krypton and Lobo on SYFY channel, and you expect it to succeed. It's like telling me you're gonna put Mario on the Home and Garden HGTV. That doesn't even make any sense.
Oh no.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous that the heads at DC actually thought that this was gonna pan out because you put it on SYFY. I forgot the show was even on there until I saw it was canceled, and that's all because of the fact that of where it's placed. Put it on the USA Network. I can work with that, but don't put it on SYFY channel and expect me to sit there and watch it, man, or watch anybody sit there and watch it unless you just an absolute diehard Lobo fan. Only the diehard of diehards watch that show. And I like Lobo, but I won't watch it on SYFY channel. That belongs on the DC network. DC has got to stop doing this, man. If they want to be taken seriously, they have got. I mean, you got everything else over on CW network.
Yeah.
You're telling me you couldn't put that on a Friday night on the CW network?
I don't think Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, these shows need to be on the network. Black Lightning needs to be on the network, or it's failing on CW. Okay, well, put it on the network. Put 12 episodes on the network. Batwoman should have been on the network. These are shows that should have been on the network. The only show that can stand right now on its own, I didn't even watch this past season, is The Flash. It's about the only thing. And that's because it's built its reputation over time. But a lot of these C-list, D-list shows, man, I think they need to be on the network. And DC's got to stop just rolling out shit and hoping to stick to the wall. I mean, they're getting to the point now where they're starting to treat their TV shows like how they do some of these movies. And that's not a good look. I mean, you just want to roll out something just to say we're rolling out something. I mean, y'all roll this. It's almost like the Xbox 360. Y'all roll this system out, and then you expect everybody to buy into it just because the LSDC is no. People are paying for a product. There's nothing wrong with watching Batman the animated series. There's nothing wrong with watching Batman Beyond. There's nothing wrong with watching the Justice League cartoon. And then this is indicative of what I'm talking about. Does Flash still come on? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all have got these shows that people don't even know if they even still come on or not. DC's got some major problems in the television world right now. I mean, they've got major issues right now when it comes to media placement. And I think that what they're doing is they're just shooting. And I mean, they got an AK-47. They're just shooting in the dark. They don't know what the hell they're shooting at. They're just shooting at a wall. Bullets coming right back to them. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that they have a streaming network and they're telling me that you can't put shows on it. You're telling me that Swamp Thing. You're telling me all these shows that y'all have. You just name a show. You got characters that need shows. Oh, you're telling me, well, Azrael, these guys put them on their own show. I mean, you got a damn network. You own the rights to all your you own the rights to every last character in your library. Everybody. This is not the problem that Marvel had. You think Marvel, man, they kill to have everybody straight out in their possession.
Mm-hmm.
DC has everybody. Everybody. Birds of Prey. I mean, come on, man. Birds of Prey. That's a TV show. But they're going to make it a movie. And all it's going to do is be a cosplay movie. That's all it is. It's a cosplay movie. DC has got major issues there. They've got major issues. They're not sitting down, surveying the field as of to what makes sense. The only saving grace right now DC has, in my opinion, is Wonder Woman. And that Shazam movie is pretty good from what I heard. I still hadn't had a chance to sit down and watch it. I actually started to do it today. But I just ended up, of course I'm tired. So, But yeah, I'll probably end up watching it sometime this week. And I actually heard, out of town, when I was out of town, somebody actually said to me, I was like, hey man, Shazam is a really good movie. And I said, my buddy would love to hear that back on. But it's only a handful of movies that DC's put out that season been pretty good, man. I mean, you got Batman. I know Xavier, he loves Batman, Superman, but I could be wrong. I think he likes that movie. But Batman, Superman was a lackluster. Even me, the most ardent Batman fan, the third movie of that trilogy was okay. Bane was the stand out of that movie. And I still trying to figure out how he got out of that hole on the west side of Chicago. He's supposed to be so, I'm still trying to figure that out, how he got out of that hole. But, DC's got some major problems, man. And you're at a lull to where Marvel, we talked about this about 4 shows ago, where Marvel is starting to tick into phase 4. Some of this stuff may stick, some of this stuff may not stick, but DC is still doing the same old thing. DC is I'm sorry, Cleveland Brown fans, if y'all are in this chat, but they are the Cleveland Browns of the comic book industry in the movies right now. Looks good on paper, but until we see it on the field, all we can do is pass judgment based off of what we've seen already. And that's my rant. That's my rant, Al. It's been a while since I went on one of those.
Hey man, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. It's worth it, and the reason why, I've said this so many times on the show. I mean, I grew up watching, but I grew up reading Marvel comics. But I had a background in DC. My one of my cousins, that actually, kind of got me into reading and collecting comics. He was a DC fan, and oddly enough, one of his favorite groups was the Justice Society of America. So I would read his JSA comic books while I would go get X-Men comic books and stuff. I think for one, DC's biggest problem, is I believe, and this is just my opinion. I don't know because I don't have any dirt sheets, intel, or anything. They have the wrong people in place for one. That goes for their streaming service, and it also goes for their movie division. With the properties that DC has in reference to characters, even though I love Marvel and I'm a Marvel guy through and through, I still have an affinity for certain DC characters. I mean, I'm a huge Captain Marvel, the real Captain Marvel, aka Shazam. Been like that since I was a young guy. Firestone, the Nuclear Man, one of my favorite characters out of DC. They have compelling characters. They have interesting characters. Shazam showed a lot of people, a lot of folks went into that movie thinking that the movie wasn't going to be that good, but it came out to be a pretty good movie. Does it have its faults? Yeah, it does, but it was a really good movie, and it actually has spawned a sequel, a future sequel, and then the Black Adam movie. Now I think right now with and I'll go to the streaming service in a second, but with the movies, Wonder Woman, of course, is their front runner, hands down. The Wonder Woman movie, I wasn't expecting much out of that at all when it first came out. It turned out to be a damn good movie. Aquaman, even though it didn't do too great at first, it ended up becoming a pretty good movie as well. I own both of them on Blu-ray. I own Shazam on Blu-ray. The point that I'm trying to make is that they have shades of doing good things, but they have people in positions of authority. They we've said this time and time again. Warner Brothers needs a Kevin Feige. That's what they need. They need a Kevin Feige for their streaming service, and they need a Kevin Feige for the movie division. Because if you look at the track record Marvel has now, not all their movies have been gold. Captain Marvel was a very mediocre movie, in my opinion. Thor, The Dark World was very blah. The first Captain America movie, although I liked it, it wasn't that great. So it's not like everything that Marvel has done or the Marvel Studios has done has been gold. Some of it's been silver. Some of it has been burnt copper. But the fact of the matter is that they keep sticking to it. They keep sticking to it. They keep testing the waters. And they get behind their product 100%. Now, as far as the streaming service, I feel like, and I'm going to quote you on this, it's an abomination before God that Swamp Thing was canceled. I don't know the specifics. I need to find out. I watched the first 2 episodes of Swamp Thing. Man, that show was good. Based on my from what I've seen, and then from what I've read from other people that have actually invested the time to go through the show, they said that's one of the best shows on the DC streaming service. And to be honest, Doom Patrol has gotten some really good feedback, as well as Teen Titans. So that tells you right there, by the masses, for the majority of people, they have enjoyed the original content that has been on the DC streaming service, but for some reason, they still cannot connect the dots. They can't put A to B to C to D to make it all congruent. And I think they need to really look and see, what is it that we're doing that we need to do? What is it that we need to? Because if they want this streaming service to be successful, they can't rely on the superpower show from the 80s, back with Samurai and Apache Chief in them. They can't rely on the old Shazam 70 show where him and this old dude called a Mentor was riding around the country in a Winnebago. They can't rely on Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, even though those two cartoons are the best cartoons ever created on the planet. And this is coming from a guy that thinks the X-Men animated series is the best behind Batman animated series, but I digress. They need to restructure. They need to rethink their process. They need to rethink the way they handle things. It's a doggone shame that their animated movies are better than the majority of the motion pictures that they put out. Something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. There's a disconnection. They need to sit down with some of these writers and some directors. They need James Gunn to stay on as long as they can keep him, even though he's back with Marvel. You know, he's still doing the reboot to Suicide Squad. They need to bring people on, and they need to find their own Tiki Watiti or whatever his name is. They need to find their own Russo brothers, and they need to give them full range of the cinematic universe, and they need somebody similar to Kevin Feige with good, fresh ideas to get on that streaming service. On top of that, and I'm going to be done with this, my rant, the stupid streaming service should have been available for PlayStation and Xbox, but they don't have an app for it. That's another thing that shot them in the foot. Why would you put an app out to where in 2019 to where people can only watch the product on a computer? How stupid is that? That was when Netflix first started. It's 2019. That should have been available on Fire Sticks. It should have been available on iTunes or the whatever that TV for the Apple is. I don't know. It should have been available on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the Nintendo Switch. You have a broader variety of people. I would have been willing to sign up for the streaming service had it been on either one of them platforms. The app, okay, I could, Hulu, Netflix, the whole nine. Somebody else needs to be they need to be holding the reins of whatever that project is, the streaming service, and say, this is what we need to do, and they need to revamp from the ground up, or else it don't matter if they put Black Lightning, Batwoman, and all them on there. If the product itself is not stable, people are not going to get it. I mean, I think Larry mentioned a few weeks ago on the show or some time ago where he was like, the issue for him, he has it, but it was the issue of convenience because the only way that he can watch it is through a tablet or a laptop, man, and that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's an inconvenience. Now, and now to piggyback off what you said about making a change. Now, the rumor is that J.J. Abrams has signed on to do, is in talks, rather, to do Superman and Green Lantern. I mean, you got to shell out the money, man. Cut the check. I mean, that's what you got to do. If you want to compete, you got to cut the check. But at the same time, you've got to start doing things that make sense. Like you just said, why would you release an app and not have it on streaming services? Hell, man, put it on airplanes. Put it where people can see. I mean, put it where people can see. How do you have to do what Marvel's not doing. You've had a year head start on your streaming platform before Marvel has theirs. Yep. A year, and you hadn't made a dent. It's just like in Ghostbusters 2, when Harold, what's his name, roll up to the library with slime on it, and he trying to hit it, and they put a damn dent in it. It's like when my man in the movie said, "Hey man, we got this pink thing over the library, and we can't seem to do anything. Have you tried dynamite? We've done everything. We can't put a dent in it." And that's exactly what DC has done. They've had a year head start. And here comes Marvel coming up the back end like Usain Bolt. Go ahead.
And I'm going to say something else, too. And if they don't get it right, they're going to see a lot of the lion's share of viewers gravitate towards services like Amazon Prime. Because I know we're going to talk about The Boys eventually. But just like I know we talked a little bit about it before the show. No, we didn't. But we talked about it where a lot of these independent comics now, especially the Mark Millar universe, various other Image titles, they're being snatched left and right, and they're being put on Amazon and other services like Hulu. And if DC don't watch it, DC is gonna suffer losses because of that. I mean, of course, they're still gonna have their following because you're gonna have some diehards that are gonna keep it, but you know, the service. But for the casual streamer, especially with all these streaming services that's gonna be available at some point, because everybody's doing their own streaming service. The name of the game is that you got to put something out there that people are going to want to watch. Just the same way when you're dealing with restaurants, you have so many different burger restaurants because they try to cater to a certain demographic of people. The same way with TV, the same way with these streaming services. If I'm going to put $10 to $15 a month into a service, I want to be able to get on that service and watch content that I can warrant to say I spent $15 on this and it was well spent. Even if I don't watch the service over a period of time, at least I know I can go back and they have a catalog or a library of shows that I could go watch and catch up on and enjoy. And they need to get on the ball, because if not, they're going to be lost. And when that Disney Plus dropped, especially with that, you know, because they got a Disney Plus has this, they've already set their pricing structure where you're going to be able to get the Disney Plus, Hulu, and I want to say ESPN 3.
All in that. Yeah,
all of it's like, I think it's $15 with ads and $20 without. But still, though, I mean, yeah, you're paying $10 a piece for each one, but look at what you're getting. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's all down to content.
Right.
All right. Next up, for all y'all GI Joe fans out there, Snake Eyes is getting is in talks to is in talks right now that Snake Eyes might be getting a GI Joe spinoff movie. I mean, once again, we still ain't got a proper GI Joe movie.
Mm-mm.
I mean, hell, the Duke got killed off the first movie, right?
Yep.
I mean, this. I mean, we still have not got a correct GI Joe movie, let alone. I mean, yeah, y'all put Bruce Willis in that last one, The Rock. I mean, that still didn't fix the flaws of the entire series. That you talk about reboots, man. That needs a reboot. And if you're gonna follow the script, you need to follow the script of the animated movie. You need to do it the right way. You coming out with a Snake Eyes movie just because y'all gave the backstory of Storm Shadow in the last one. No, that ain't cutting it with me, man. They've got to come up with something better than this. Because I'm here to tell you, I didn't see the first one in the theater. I didn't see the second one in the theater, and I probably won't see this one in the theater. I saw all three. I saw the other two on FX, so I'll probably see this one on FX too. There's no way I'm gonna pay to watch this movie, man. The most ardent of GI Joe supporters are not going to go watch this movie. They're not going to take this serious. They're not going to take this is something that needs to go to Hulu. This is a Hulu special right here. This is a Hulu special, Netflix special. They need to be ashamed of themselves, Al, talking about a Snake Eyes movie, man. Who's going to pay to watch that, man?
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to tell you like this. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I want to see a true form Cobra Commander. We didn't get that.
Nope.
I wanted to see a true form Deathstroke. We didn't get that.
Nope.
I want to see at some point, if they keep this franchise up, I want to see a Serpentor done right.
What about the twins?
The Center Twins?
You didn't even see the twins.
Yeah, Zaymon and Tomex. We didn't see
Zartan.
We didn't see Nope, we didn't see Zartan. We saw the Baroness. Who else did we see?
Yeah, but she was in love with what's his name?
So now
she was in love with what's his name in the movie. She's supposed to be in love with one of the what's his name? I can't think of it now, man. It's been so long since I watched that movie.
That's Destro's old lady. Shoot.
Yeah, but she was in love with one of GI Joe. I can't quite remember who it was, man. I mean, that's how stupid the movie was. How ass backwards it was, man. We hadn't got a true GI Joe movie, man. It's like a true He-Man movie, man. I'm not gonna talk about that guy running around with the sheriff with the shotgun the whole movie.
Man, I'm afraid certain things, man, we probably will never see as far as an accurate description, especially those movies. I mean, you think about the whole Voltron. They've been working on a Voltron movie for the
They don't need
last 6,
to.
7 years.
They don't need to. They got one on Netflix. They don't even have to touch that because it's on Netflix. It's done the right way on Netflix. Al, all I ask for, man, is I know sometimes you have to deviate from the norm, but just do something that makes sense. I mean, just do something that makes sense. Just put characters in here that make sense. I mean, hell, man, Sergeant Slaughter's still living. Y'all could have put him in the movie. He's still living.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm serious. He's still living. The man is still living.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me John Cena can play a G.I. Joe role? I mean, hell, he made for a role like that, man.
But you know, this is the thing, though. I ain't mean to cut you off, but you know, the Bumblebee movie supposedly, and this is just what I've read now. I haven't seen the Bumblebee movie, and I mean, I plan on it, but I hadn't just sat down to look at it. But supposedly, John Cena's role in that movie, it was alluded that he was in G.I. Joe in the movie, but and they may have named him as far as what his name was, but supposedly his character, it was supposed to have been like a connector to the Transformer G.I. Joe universe, because you know they're supposed to be in the same universe. How, I don't know, you know, with all that stuff going on with the last few Transformers movies, but I don't know. I've given up on those types of movies for the most part, man. I mean, for one, if you're gonna do a Snake Eyes movie, it can't be rated PG. The Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were ruthless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in that case, man, I just throw my hands up in there because there's just certain things. It's just why, you know.
I mean, that's all you can ask is why. Why are y'all doing this? For what? Who asked for this movie? You know, I sound like TC. Like TC, what, man? I sound like TC now. Who was in the room and say, hey, man, I want you to have a brief on my desk about the Snake Eyes movie by Monday. Who asked for that? I certainly haven't seen anybody online begging for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes if you're gonna do something, just do it right. Just start over. Just clean the slate. We're gonna recast everybody. Mike can keep the Rock around. Everybody else fall in line and start over. But don't come to me with a character that hadn't even been fleshed out completely in his own setting with G.I. Joe. I mean, you got guys who are on that payroll over at G.I. Joe that we had never seen. Like you said, Zartan, the twins, Serpento, Nemesis, and Force. These are all folks that we hadn't even seen.
Quick.
I mean, hell, you saw Cobra. You saw what happened to Cobra Commander in that first movie, man.
Yes, I did.
You saw that, man. That was the stupidest shit I ever seen. I remember sitting there watching that, like, what am I watching?
Hey, man, feel good about the fact that you didn't go watch it in the movies. I paid to go see that, man.
Man, please. I wouldn't even take the big cup that came with you the day you go to the movie theater. That movie was so bad, man. Or the hardest box.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, so we go from Snake Eyes. Hold on. Let me get this. We go from Snake Eyes. For everybody, I'm still trying to get this banner thing down on this new system we're working on, so you have to bear with me here. And we go from Snake Eyes on the big screen to Yondu in the comic book. So, oh man, I wish Larry was on. So, who is asking for your face? Who is asking for a Yondu comic book? And why are we coming out with it? And no, I'm not buying a ratio variant. No, I'm not buying an A cover. No, I'm not buying a B cover, a C cover, D cover, no Del Otto, no Art Germ, no J. Scott Campbell. No, I'm not buying it under no circumstance. And I don't give a damn if they give him powers that link back to powers of X. No, Bati is asking for that. When I saw that today, I was floored. that they were actually coming out with a Yondu comic book. I was like, are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? That Marvel, this is where I get on Marvel's behind all the time, is that they're coming out with obscure characters that nobody's even asked for. All because they're gonna ride that hype from Guardians of the Galaxy. And only, and I don't even know if my man Blaylock, that supports our local comic book store. He buys everything that comes out. I don't even see Blaylock buying this, man. This is something that I don't even know where this came from, man, and why. And I give this 3 issues at best, 3, and that's because they already got them rolled out. You talk about short-lived series, man. Nah, this is gonna take the cake, man. This is Marvel. Now y'all need to go back to the drawing board on this one too, because I don't think anybody I know that's even could be interested in this. So no, I mean you gotta go verify to make sure you're right. Yeah, it's.
Oh no,
I'm just teasing you, man.
You know what?
I'm blown.
It's funny you mentioned that we were going to talk about this tonight because I saw the article about a day or so ago, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, this is the dumbest thing in my honest opinion that I have actually ever seen. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just it's the Yondu's popularity grew with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And that was thanks to my God, I can't think of his name. I don't want to call him Merle from Walking Dead, but that's who it is.
Yeah, Merle from The Walking Dead.
I can't remember his real name, but anyway, and I mean, for the most part, he actually added an aspect and a dimension to that character that was never a part of the comic book. The Yondu Udanta in the comic book was actually based upon like Native American Indians. And his demeanor in the comic book, because I collect the Guardians of the Galaxy, like the original team from the 90s that had him on there. And he was not like the Yondu that was in the movie. I mean, he was very reserved, laid back. He was peaceful unless you provoked him and drew his ire, and then he would nut up. The only similarities between the movie version and the comic book version is that he was blue-skinned. And his fin was a lot. Well, I mean, even he had a fin in the movie, but his fin was a lot bigger in the comic book. And he also whistled. He had the arrows where he could whistle and stuff. That's the whole thing that we talk about quite often, where you throw something to the wall to see if it'll stick. And if it stick, we're gonna try to squeeze as much money as we can out of someone. Yondu does not deserve his own solo series. I'm sorry. It just, to me, like you said, who is asking for this stuff? It's like that episode, I think it's on South Park, where they were making fun of Family Guy and they were saying that there were seals I can't remember the specifics, but basically it was seals or walruses that were making decisions to for certain episodes of Family Guy. And it's kind of like that. It's like, why would you bring out a Yondu comic? I mean, it just, to me, it didn't make sense. It does not make sense. Out of the thousands of comic book characters that Marvel Comics has, you pick a Yondu Udanta to have a solo series. I give it 8 issues, 7 or 8 issues tops, and it's gonna be canceled. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, it's just like when for those who follow us on Instagram, also follow us on Instagram. Instagram, it's a comment hall and roundtable discussion. And one of our infamous rant clips is like when Larry talks about slapstick. Who's going to the store looking for that? I mean, now you're going because you want to collect it because of spec, but back then, who was buying that book back in the day? Nobody. That was in the quarter bins across the world, across the world. And this is the same thing. Just go ahead. You know what the sad part about this, Al? Having been doing this for a while now, and we've connected with a lot of comic book shops. There's some store owners that are going to buy into this. and they're gonna be stuck with hundreds of Yondu #1s, hundreds, and they won't be able to give them away. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to comic shops and I saw those Convergence DC books, whole ones, just sitting in boxes. And this is the same exact thing that's going to happen with this, because nobody's looking for this book. Nobody's asking for it. No, I can't even see a kid asking for Yondu. And personally, I didn't too much care for him in the movie. And I know that's harsh. He's just a character I just never really cared about. Yondu just really never did a whole lot for me. There's some characters that's like that. They don't do a whole lot for me. I mean, Sunspot doesn't do a whole lot for me. I mean,
hey man, you had to get off Sunspot.
I mean, Sunspot cool. I mean, X-Men and everything, but just some folks just really never hit it off for me, man.
Understood.
And this is one of them. When I think Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know think of Yondu. But that still doesn't excuse Marvel for putting out this as you say, this trash. So I mean, this is gonna be hilarious when this one comes out. Now, this is something that I saw today, and I I really wish TC was on the panel tonight. When I saw the headline, this was like one of those Antonio moments where I was like, "Oh, okay. So what does that mean?" And that is Dr. Doom screenwriter says the movie is done. So man, when we say so when you see this, you say, okay, well, Dr. Doom screenwriter says the movie is done. So what done are we talking about? Are we talking about done is we're not doing it? Is it done? Yeah, trash? Is it done? And I mean, we're on a kind of on a tear tonight with this. Why is this man? What are we doing a Dr. Doom movie in the first place? They should save this man. They should save this man. He should be in whatever they got coming in Phase 5. Everybody, I mean, you can go watch comic show after comic show after comic show, and people have all said the same thing: is that Dr. Doom should be in Phase 5, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Iron Man. You can just put him in any one of them. Right before, either after Galactus or before Galactus. However you want to do it. Chalk it up however you want to do it. But this man does not need his own movie. And I know somebody's going to come on and say, well, man, Venom got his own movie too, man. But it was okay. But seriously, how you going to link all this stuff up, man? How are you going to link all this up? This doesn't even make any sense. So, with that being said, if this movie's already done, the script's already wrote for it, personally, I'd be scared as hell. Because, I mean, and look who owns the right to Dr. Doom. Well, who is it? Sony, right? Is it Sony?
No, it was Fox, but with
Fox, just think about that, man. Y'all saw it just came out 3-4 months ago, man. Y'all saw that Dark Phoenix.
But see, the good news is because of that acquisition, I don't think the movie's gonna happen, man. And the reason why I say that is because since now Disney has acquired the rights to the Fantastic Four again, which includes Dr. Doom. I seriously doubt. Like, I mean, the script, in my opinion, the script has to be tears moving to the executives that is given to, for them to say, you know what, even though we had no plans for a Dr. Doom movie, we're gonna go ahead and do a movie. I mean, for real, that script has got to be that dynamic, because from what I read about it, the guy that actually wrote the script, he started writing it with the intention of having it as a Fox property. Fox property. And of course, the acquisition came with Disney getting Fantastic Four and the X-Men back from them. So he kept writing the script. So this dude basically is like the little engine that could. He gonna keep writing the script, everything be down, the hell with everybody. I'm gonna keep writing this script. And what he's planning on doing, or he's planned to do, I don't know if he's gotten shot down, is that he's trying to push the whole script to Marvel or to the Marvel Center, Marvel Studios, to see if they'll go ahead and do what Fox intended on doing with Doctor Doom. But I don't think, like I said, that script has to be amazing for them to even consider it, because I have a firm belief that they've already plotted. And I think they may have, even before they got those good characters, they started plotting what they were going to do with them. So more power to them. Good luck. You know, if it happened, it happened, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, and I hope it does. Shout out to Brock Brown. Brock Brown listening to us tonight, man, watching us tonight, man. He says Dark Who? You know who it is, man. Dark Phoenix. You saw what came out 4 months ago. You know exactly what I'm talking about, man.
Brock in the
You know
house.
exactly what I'm talking about. That trash, that tripe that came out about 4 months ago, man. And that's the most dangerous thing, is when Fox puts their hands on a movie outside of Logan.
Bro.
And that was on. I mean, that the albatross that they continue, and Deadpool. I give them that. Give them a break on that. But I mean, we all know their track record, and then you already know we've seen what, 3 Doctor Dooms. We've seen 3 from y'all already. What, 3? Right? Am I right? It's 3. Yeah, 2, 3.
No, we've seen 2.
2, and both of them stunk. And both franchises they put out stunk. So we know this. This is a culture of losing. Before you even snap the damn football, we know you've lost 30 yards. This is Fox being Fox. And no, I really hope that Marvel tears it up. We're starting over. We're going with something better, something fresh. What they say? What, all new, all different. Doctor Doom. That's what we're going with. All new, all different. Doctor Doom. For God's sake, don't let Fox come out with this movie, man. Doctor Doom is a villain that has been long past needed his due. Just due. We're talking about a major villain. We're talking like a top 5 villain in the Marvel Universe, man. Top 3, depending on who you talk to.
And you know what? I honestly believe, had Marvel had the rights to Doctor Doom at the start of the whole MCU phase, I can almost guarantee you that he probably would have been used before they used Thanos. I can guarantee you.
Man, look at the movies that had came out before we got to all this. Bro, he probably been one of the first villains they done.
No, I'm talking about
easily. And he can fit in almost any property.
He's fought just
X-Men.
about everybody.
Yeah.
He even fought Luke Cage. And Luke Cage, he owed Luke Cage money, and Luke Cage flew to Latveria to get his money. Get
my body. I want my motherfucking body.
I want my money. Doom.
Yeah. I mean, Doctor Doom is an iconic character. You could have put him in. Hey, you could have put him in Iron Man 3. Could have put him in Iron Man 2, Iron Man 1. Any one of them.
Doctor Doom could have been interchangeable in any Marvel movie, solo movie, or group movie with the Avengers. Like I said, man, he would have been the go-to. I think they would have started with Doom and then maybe went with Thanos down the road. Thanos would have been probably that next big baddie as far as villain. But they could have put him in a movie and he could have cross-referenced to anybody. Spider-Man, Captain America. He's gone. He's gone against all of them.
Every last hero group you can think of, Doctor Doom is
right. And aside from Thanos, there's not really many. I mean, I don't think Annihilus has. I don't think Apocalypse has actually fought the Fantastic Four, but Doctor Doom has fought against just about every major hero and group in the Marvel Universe as far as the comics.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that people need to start. You know, these franchises need to start getting. I mean, these characters need to start getting a just due, man. Doctor Doom needs a proper. Needs to be done properly, done right. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. That, I mean, we're talking 20 years ago. Doctor Doom was in that first movie, and it stunk. And then we talk about another 10, 12 years, he shows back up again, and it's more the same. And it's enough is enough with this, man. It's just like the whole thing with Wolverine with Logan, when it was like, you know what? No, we're not doing another Logan movie unless it's done right. And you saw what happened when it got done right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not gonna talk about that Wolverine movie with Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, that first one. We're not talking about that either. With Bishop. We're not talking about that one either. But when you do a movie right and it's done right, that's what happens. And I hate it that characters like that got drugged through the mud. But hopefully Marvel, like I said, I really hope Marvel really makes Doctor Doom one of the badasses of the badasses. We all know Galactus is gonna show up. It's just a matter of when. But I really hope that they do that. That they make Doctor Doom. They look at this thing that they're rolling out and they say, no, we're gonna do it our way. Ends up in a Fantastic Four movie. And then the rest is history. I just there's no way I can see them coming out with that movie. So for the man saying it's done, I hope it's done as no, it's done. We're not coming out with it. We're gonna go another direction. So hopefully that's the case. Next up, The Boys season 2 is already filming. They have wasted no time coming off the heels of an excellent. If you have not seen The Boys, shame on you. Go sign up for the 30-day membership if you don't have an Hulu account, and watch your way, man, because this is a masterpiece. And this goes back into what we talked about earlier, that certain properties fit on certain networks, and when you are given, and I can tell you this as a photographer, as a creative, when you give a person full creative rights to say do what you want to do, that's when you get the best result. My only thing that my only reservation is that I hope they don't start trying to, well, let's do this, let's do that. No, stick what got you to the dance, because that is a phenomenal show. So Al, they're already rolling it out. They're already getting it ready. And hey, what's your thoughts, man?
Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very different. And it's funny, you know this as well as I do, as many times as we've gone to Origin Story. How many times before that buzz came, how many times have you seen those books in the boxes up there and be like, okay, and just passed it by?
Yep.
I learned now never to look a gift horse in the mouth, because if the show is as good as it is, then the comic book would have been even better. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of nuances in the comics generally are not conveyed over to the shows, because either time constraints or story, because sometimes when you're dealing with a comic book, take Walking Dead for example, you have a slow burn with a lot of stuff, whereas with the TV show they have to tell so much of the story in such little time. So the same could be said for The Boys. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I thought it was great. It harkened me back when Heroes was on TV. I'm like, well, this is what Heroes could have been, those type of shows. You know what I'm saying? But as far as it goes, Amazon is they have a winner on their hands, and from what I've read, there's a few more coming down the pipe. So if those particular books, Larry,
what's up, brother?
It's the kid.
Good to see you. But yeah, man, as far as it goes, if they keep down the path that they're going down, man, like I said, they're gonna cause some problems for other streaming services. But man, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I actually watched the last episode, and I'm not gonna speak on it, but I watched the last episode Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, and I was pleasant. The cliffhanger was unexpected, but I liked it. I really liked that show, man.
Larry, we're talking about The Boys, man. Season 2 is underway.
I figured
streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard Amazon,
film, we're talking about the
Boys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Like Al said, man, I think it pushed Amazon. I don't know what they thought about when they first saw it, as far as the violence or goriness of it. But yeah, I thought it pushed TV where it could go. I think they said it's only one scene they had to cut from the floor, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It shocked me, but when I saw the preview, and I'm not gonna lie, when I saw how the gory it was, I was like, yeah, this might be all right. Plus, it's from Eric Kripke is the executive producer, and he also executive produces my other favorite show, which is Supernatural. So I kind of knew I would kind of like it, but um, like Al said, no spoilers in case anybody hadn't seen it, but yeah, it was great. It differs from the comic in certain ways. So if anybody's trying to stay exactly true to the comic, then I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's gonna be slightly different, but it's still great. I think it's a standalone show as well. So I mean, if you haven't read the comic, then it's a great show regardless. So yeah, like Al said, I think they got a winner on their hands, man. As long as they don't mess it up and try to censor it or anything like that, because I think how far it goes is what makes it as good as what it is. So
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we're gonna move and we'll go back to a few things since Larry just joined us, but we'll move on to this one. Rumor: Dwayne Johnson to play Namor and Henry Cavill to play U.S. Agent in the MCU. Now we all know that The Rock has been clamoring to play Namor for what? How many years has he been wanting to play that role? Years.
yeah, years, yeah.
Years. So we all saw that coming, but I did not see Henry Cavill playing U.S. Agent. I actually thought that'd been a John Cena type role. But Al, you looking surprised over there, man. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
That comes as a surprise to me because I didn't see that. That's very intriguing, and the reason why I say that is because some time ago, and I mean, okay, let me just preface this by saying I love comics and I love pop culture and I love what we do on the show. And I love speculation because speculation tends to make your mind wander and, you go off on all these tangents like a what if comic book. But, at one point, Henry Cavill was actually being, this was the rumor he was being courted to play Captain Britain. But apparently, I don't know if that's going to be the case because if it's rumored that he's going to play U.S. Agent, that opens up a whole nother can of worms. Now, what's interesting about U.S. Agent, if my Captain America lore is proficient, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I do know that he was part of the Weapons Plus program, right, Larry?
Yep.
Okay. Now, in addition, when he came out, the way he came out, he was actually introduced, of course, as a replacement to Steve Rogers when he gave up the Captain America mantle and Steve Rogers became Nomad. And during that time frame, the U.S. Agent, and if I'm not right, anybody in the chat can correct me, let me know. He was more or less a part of a wrestling federation or something like that because there were some other dudes. There was a black guy named Battlestar. There was two guys named Left Winger and Right Winger, and all of them was part of a group along with U.S. Agent, but to make a long story short, U.S. Agent broke off from them. But anyway, I say all that to say this. It's interesting if he's going to play U.S. Agent, what role is he going to play? If it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if it's the Captain, I don't like you saying Captain America, if it's Falcon and Bucky, that is very interesting, like as far as the whole, because U.S. Agent, I mean, come on, who's thinking about U.S. Agent right now? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I actually thought of. I think I have to go back and look, but I think me and Larry might have mentioned U.S. Agent a couple of years ago. It's somebody that just offshoot.
Well, he showed up in the Captain America Steve Rogers series.
He came back.
Yeah, around that whole Secret Empire thing. I think it was in the Sam Wilson or Steve Rogers. It was one of those that he made a brief appearance coming back. So he hadn't been gone too long, but for them to put him in a show, yeah, that's huge.
It's
Yep.
very huge.
I mean, you just he's one of those characters where you know who he is, but you didn't see that coming. So now that tells me that there's a lot of options. There's a lot of different ways you can take this. There's a lot of ways you can take US Agent. Thoughts on it, Larry? Oh, go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
And see, that's what we talked about earlier in the show. Marvel has so many characters that they could actually just pick from. And when they make that decision, hey, we're gonna do something with US Agent, your mind start like going a million miles an hour. It's like, well, what are they gonna use them for? They're gonna use them for a TV show, they're gonna use them for a movie. And that's I like that aspect because now it's like, okay, so what exactly is he? Man, that called me off guard. I mean, The Rock. Yeah, I mean, everybody knew about The Rock, but even though, in my opinion on that, right quick, I don't want The Rock to be Namor, man. I'm sorry. I like The Rock. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want him to be Namor, man. Like for real. Like I'm gonna tell you, like,
Black Adam.
Well, see, he's talking about doing Black Adam plus Namor because I mean, you got people doing double duty now. So, you got folks on playing both sides of the fence. But I mean, as far as it goes, The Rock is cool. I like The Rock. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Acting wise, man, The Rock is The Rock in everything he plays. And I don't want to see that with Namor, man. Namor has an air. He's regal. He's that dude that he knows he's that dude and he don't care what you think about him.
He's an asshole.
That too.
And you don't think that was The Rock toward the end of his career?
Yeah, it could have been, man. But I mean, and like I said, I like The Rock. I like his work. I like a lot of his movies, but I want to see somebody else get some shine, man. He got the physique, but I don't want to see them on.
Rock has everything when it comes to that character. He looks like him. Like he can definitely speak and be. You talk about an asshole. I think The Rock could definitely give him a mouthpiece like he has in the comics. I'm sorry, I gotta go against you on that one. This is the one role The Rock I think would be made for. It's like it's waiting for him. As far as that's concerned, I can't see nobody else really off top that I would put in that particular role. Now, I don't know, man, but I think that's huge to put Namor as The Rock, especially if you're gonna put him versus T'Challa in Black Panther 2. That's Rock territory. That's an action movie. That's putting him in his element. So I think that's awesome.
For those who are interested, on spec, U.S. Agent's first appearance is Captain America 323. You probably can find that. I mean, that's sitting in stores. I've actually ran across that 1 or 2 times. So make sure y'all are on the lookout for that. And if you're trying to get it, you might want to get it now before it gets out of hand. I mean, we saw, y'all saw what Legion of Monsters is going for now. I mean, silly money. You can get that book for like $30, $20, $40 a couple months ago.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, so you got to be out ahead of the curve. So if y'all are looking at collecting, getting books to try to grab this, now I think I may already have it. If not, I have to pick up one. But I think I've already got that.
You better start telling them where to get some of that Namor stuff.
Hey man, go up to Atlanta, man. I mean, we saw. What was it, Larry? We saw this week of. Hold on, I got it right here. Trying to make a mess here.
It's funny. Right when you picked it up, they put it in the key collector. I want to say.
Yeah, New Avengers number 7. Man, I saw about 5 of these.
$2, $3.
Yep. So I mean, make sure y'all are picking those up because those are books that will probably go out. And the significance is of that book is actually where Namor declares war on Wakanda. So I think that's where they're gonna probably base that movie off of, kind of taking it from there. So you might want to pick that up, Larry. Let me go back here, man. And since you just joining us, man, I don't know how much you heard, but I'm gonna go back, man. I really want to get your thoughts on this here, and I'm just trying to get my slides, y'all. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. Let's see here. Here we go. This is gonna be. Cannot wait to see his reaction on this. Larry, are you interested? This is going on Instagram, by the way. This is going on Instagram. Oh my goodness.
Woo!
Marvel is talking about releasing a Yondu comic book. I told Al this is the craziest shit I've seen in a while.
Let's hear it, Larry.
Oh, Yondu in a comic. I didn't care for Yondu that much in the movies, to be honest. But you know what? I'm not mad at Marvel. Just because number one, they're the house of ideas, and it's my favorite comic company. But number two, they throw stuff at the wall just to see what sticks. It's not going to sell. They got the kind of quota that they have as far as creating books, but it's not going to sell. You don't have to worry about seeing it long term.
How many issues you giving it? How many issues you giving?
That's why I say you might get 6 to 8, maybe 10 issues.
I said 7.
I'll get it more than 3. Most of their series now go about like Iceman. Iceman went 10 issues.
That's the character I was thinking about earlier. I forgot to mention, by the way.
Yeah, so I mean these characters they get some shine, man, and they get 6 issues, 8 issues, 10 issues max, and you won't see Yondu. But I tell you what the interesting part about a lot of those limited series are that a lot of those limited series now you can go back because they've done something crazy like a movie, and now you actually need some of those books, like the Black Widow series I've been looking for instance. Nobody cared about that limited series, man. It was 3 issues, and now number 1 is like $50 or $60 because of what they're trying to do with the movie. So, you know, I'm not saying that it probably won't sell worth anything, but if they do anything more down the line, then it may be something you want to pick up.
All right, Larry. Also, man, we bring you back up to speed on where we've been at tonight, man. Dr. Doom screenwriter says that the movie is done. I mean, see, once again, I mean, like I told Al, what done are we talking about? Is it done is when you gonna see it? Is it done in? Well, I think that's what it is. Is that movie's just done? It was done out of the gate. This is a movie that should need to be happening.
You got lucky with Venom.
You got lucky with Logan.
I think Logan was a safe bet. But Venom, once again, you're talking about a character that needs another character to even flesh out his being. In Spider-Man, they didn't go that route, and they won. I don't think you can really do Dr. Doom once again. You haven't even given us a proper Fantastic Four movie. At least with Venom, you had decent Spider-Man movies, and even he was in the worst one, but even he was in one.
Yes, Lord.
But Spider-Man 3, we're not talking about it, but the Fantastic Four hasn't even given us a good movie to even piggyback Doom off of. So I don't even know where you go with Doom at this point. So
I mean, it's doomed to fail. I mean, I can't help it.
Yeah, right. Strike that one.
I mean, it's absolute madness, man. Absolute madness this year. Absolute madness. Now, also, man, and I won't put this Chiron up on the screen, but we got a comment here. Give a shout out here to a Comic Corpse. Hey, man, appreciate you, brother. We love you too, man. And we'll make sure we subscribe to you as well, man. Appreciate that, man. Make sure you spread the word, brother. Spread the word.
Appreciate you.
So for those in the chat, man, the chat got a little quiet, man. What's y'all thoughts on this Dr. Doom stuff, man? I mean, I just don't understand. I just don't understand sometimes how, and I think it's just, and Al, you alluded to this earlier when we talked about it. It's just that residual doo-doo that was from over at Fox. that had been hanging off the toilet, and I think this is just one of those things
That definitely sounds like an L turn.
Yeah, that had been just hanging around. And I think this is just one of those things where it has to just be put down like old yellow.
Right. It needs to be put to pasture. Let bygones be bygones. Like I said, I think the dude really trying to get work with Marvel Studios, but some things right now, Marvel owns the rights, cinematic rights to Doctor Doom. Let them handle it. Let them do what they need to do. Because, like I said, only thing I can see that script's gonna have to be just, I mean, for real. Like it's like in that brief, in Pulp Fiction where they open up the briefcase and it started glowing. That script gonna have to be like that when they put it to the hands of Marvel execs. Other than that, I want to see Doctor Doom done right.
Well,
hey, man, Doctor Doom has the potential to be like a Thanos type of villain, man. Like you can actually build up for him, man, to be over a whole phase, and you gonna actually just give him a movie that you're not fleshing him out at all and just kind of throwing him out there. I mean, I'm not bashing anybody, but this Joker, it kind of reminds me of this Joker thing that they're throwing out, and it's like you just gonna, other than Heath Ledger and of course Jack Nicholson, the classic from the 90 or 89. I don't think Joker at this point needs a solo movie. That's just me. I just don't think he needs a solo movie, especially the way that they're thinking about putting it out there and changing the storyline. And I don't know. It just reminds me of the same type of feel.
Go ahead. Al.
Well, just to add on to what Larry just said, that Joker movie is supposed to be kind of like looked at as an Elseworld / what if type movie. And they right now, I think they're ramping that up because I've seen quite a few articles about that lately. But Larry, it's funny that you mentioned that about Doctor Doom because I just told Matt, and you tell me whether or not you think this is a decent assessment. Had the MCU had Doctor Doom at the jump, wouldn't you say that they would have actually used him before they used Thanos as like the major villain?
I wouldn't say that, just because if they were going the Avengers route, to me, Thanos made a little bit more sense. But I definitely think they could have passed Thanos once again instead of going the route they're going now. Who knows? Maybe they even have plans for him now, but it just seems that they could have went a different route after, because Doom is of course smarter and more maniacal. Thanos might be a little bit more powerful, but I think Dr. Doom would, definitely be more than a match for the Avengers or anybody else for that matter in the MCU.
Marvel to launch new Morbius comic book series in November.
What is going on tonight? Who came?
I mean, what is this like? Well, 5 Morbius series we came up with? I mean, what is this about, man? I mean, bro, let me tell you something, man. All because Blade has been announced. They got to cut this crap out, man. Who is asking for this? What Sean is asking for Morbius? Another Morbius comic book.
Well, what Sony has to do, man, Marvel has to step in and tell Sony that, hey, you can't do this. We made a deal with you on one of our biggest characters, and we need some of these characters to put in other movies. They don't need solo movies that's going to waste production money and everything else that we can put into putting these characters in the right movies and actually making something out of them instead of, I mean, what are you going to do with Morbius? I mean, Morbius doesn't even stand alone in the comics world. So how in the world, at least Venom can stand alone. Venom has his own series and it's selling. He's had multiple series now. They put him in space and everything. So you can get away with doing anything with Venom at this point. But Morbius, he can't even stand alone on his own. So what makes people think, or what makes those writers think that people want to see him or 3D at $20 to see Morbius on the screen? It's above me.
I mean, I mean, I just it stirs me. Well, this is actually a comic book, Larry. This is actually another series, which still doesn't make any damn sense as to why they even, you know.
Well, I'm just saying,
I saw you.
Tony's coming to make a movie out of him. So, like, what makes people think that people want to see Morbius at this point? Like, they even jacked him up on the animated series, if you ask me. So
this is true. I mean, I don't want to see him unless he's fighting Blade. I mean, I give a damn about everything else. If he ain't fighting Blade, no need for me to watch it.
I like it. I like him fighting Spider-Man, but
Spider-Man. I mean, it put him in his element. Outside of that, no. I don't want to see him. In Captain Marvel, I don't want to see him. In Fantastic Four, I don't want to see. He needs to be exactly what he needs to be. With who the people he normally fights or who he deals with. I don't want to see Ric Flair in the NWO. I never have. Never wanted to see that. But we're gonna move on. This is another one. Al, you'll like this one. Disney isn't impressed with Fox's New Mutants once again.
In other news, water is wet.
What the hell were they expecting? I mean,
I don't know about that one, man. I actually had decent hopes for that. The way they were going.
I didn't.
Disney knew walking in that door when that man laid that brief down. Disney knew that was going to be trite. Walking in, that's my new word for the week. Trite is that they knew that movie was going to be trash. Oh yeah, Al, don't worry. I'm definitely going to let you roll. But I already know. But they knew this. It's almost like you coming home from school with bad signed papers. You knew you had that 48 before you gave it to your mama. You knew that.
And you folded it up like she ain't gonna see this go on.
And then you took the paper loose and put it at the back of the stash. So you got all the good grades. And that 48 sitting back there in the back. We knew this was trash coming in there. And I expect this to be canceled. I'd say within 6 months from this show, I expect this to be put on ice.
Or reshot.
There's no reason. Yeah. Hey, look, there's no reason for this to even come out. There's no reason at all. Because y'all are going to reboot. We already know what's in the process of happening. Let everything run its course. There's no reason for this to come out now. Now, if you told me that this deal was not going to happen with Marvel or whatever, and y'all got these sitting on these properties, and we got to come out with a new mutant, we got to use them or whatever, I can have mercy on you. But for you to sit and tell me that y'all are still trying to pitch this movie to be released when Disney owns the rights to this stuff, Al, it's yours, man.
Well, Larry, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, sir. I don't even know where to start, but I kind of figured that Disney wasn't going to be impressed with the Fox's New Mutants because I wasn't impressed with Fox's New Mutants. So that pretty much means that I could sit on the board of directors or something. I don't know. That movie was doomed from the start, man. And I'm going to tell you something. That movie started production around the same time that Dark Phoenix did. And you see what happened to Dark Phoenix. That is at this particular point in time, Disney needs to cut their losses with that movie, because if it's released, they're gonna lose money. For one, people don't know who the heck the New Mutants are, and then two, with the way that Fox set this movie up, they're not really giving. Okay, so this is a horror movie with the New Mutants. People don't know who they are. This is not like the Guardians of the Galaxy where they laid backstory. They gave a little bit of history. Even though it was small tidbits of information, Drax, the reason why he was mad at Thanos because Thanos killed his daughter and his wife. We know this. We know about Gamora. We knew about Rocket Raccoon. We knew all about Groot, Star-Lord, the whole nine. They just throwing the New Mutants out here and say, hey, we're going to put y'all in this house. It's going to be a demon bear running after y'all. Y'all going to have to figure out how to get out. That's what that movie was about. It was doomed to start. If that movie is worth anything right now, it's worth Netflix. If Kmart was still open, it was worth the blue light special, $6.99 Blu-ray, straight direct to DVD Blu-ray. I don't fault Disney for feeling the way they do, because I feel like if done properly, especially with Fox, with Disney acquiring the X-Men back, that they could do a proper lead up to the New Mutants if they choose to use them as a property, which they could, and they could probably do it more effectively than the Sony movie that they trying to get pushed out. They need to just go ahead and dump it. They need to let people watch it for free. They need the next free comic book day. They need to just go ahead and press up some bootleg DVDs and send them to comic book stores and say, hey, here's that New Mutants movie. Go home, watch it. If not, just throw it in the trash because it was free anyway. That's what needs to happen. And on that note, I can't. Nah, man. I'm big. I'm too much of a fan of that property to know the potential that it has for them to do them like that, man. That movie wasn't gonna be good. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, I told y'all that Dark Phoenix wasn't gonna be good. And look what happened. I ain't saying I'm no soothsayer or nothing, man, but I'm telling you, Larry, you should know, man. You like the X-Men. I don't see why you tripping, bro.
I look. I'll agree with y'all on one point. I'll agree with y'all that if the merger and it never went through, I would have liked to see the movie. Hey, good, bad, or indifferent, I would have liked to see what they had. But with the merger going through and all the remnants of Fox's X-Men activity are done, then they shouldn't go through with it for that reason. That reason only. It's almost like a continuation of what they had going with that bad. They couldn't make a good X-Men movie towards the end to save their life.
No.
And but like I say, if that merger hadn't went through, I just would like to see what they were going to put out. I mean, I want to see what they had. I mean, you couldn't. It would. You don't lose anything by seeing what they had. I mean,
I agree.
If you chose to see it, fine. I mean, if you choose not to see it, fine. I mean, of course, the studio probably would have lost some money if it wasn't a success. But as a fan, you didn't have anything to lose.
Yeah, I don't quite understand. I really don't understand why that was. I really don't understand how it even got brought up. To be honest with you, how this even came to be. I mean, I just don't understand it. Go ahead, brother.
Well, to answer that question, the reason why that came to be was the reason why they were planning on doing the Madrox, the multiple man movie, because they were grabbing stuff and the continuing theme. Just right, Larry, you slapped your head. The continuing theme for tonight is that certain companies will take something and throw it to the wall to see if it sticks. That's the reason why the New Mutants didn't need to be brought out until they could finally get an X-Men movie right. I give Fox credit. The only movies that I thought were decent to mediocre to good was the X2 movie, which I still think is the best X-Men movie, ensemble movie that they've come out with. Future Past was a decent, okay movie. And then the last Wolverine movie, Logan. Everything else, in my opinion, has been utter garbage. They have a track record that is not proven for them. Fox can't say nothing about the DC universe because they've been just as terrible. We don't even talk about the Fantastic Four movies. They've been garbage. So for that New Mutants movie, I get what you're saying, Larry, about, at least seeing how it is. That's why I said it need to be either dropped on Netflix or it need to be pressed in the bootleg DVDs and given away next year at Free Comic Book Day. That's the only thing I see for that.
VG2213 says, but wasn't New Mutants heading in a whole new direction? So why cancel it? They speak on money. Disney will find a way to sell toys from it. Au contraire, my friend, Guardians of the Galaxy was not pushed out by Fox. So therefore, I already knew the worst case scenario that movie was going to be halfway decent. Even though I didn't, at the time, I really wasn't following Guardians of the Galaxy like that. I've never really followed Guardians of the Galaxy like that. But I know that if Fox would have had their hands on Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, we would have had Dark Phoenix of the Galaxy. It'd have been the same result.
Right. And then, too, with the New Mutants, the take that they were going was a horror take. they weren't really. I mean, the formula with their X-Men movies weren't concrete. Yeah, they would make money, but they weren't making no money to be like, yeah, so we making the money hand over fist over the X-Men franchise. Do y'all realize, Larry, you know this, the X-Men kept Marvel afloat for a strong 15, 20 years. No other book in the for a certain from between the late to mid to late 70s up through the 90s, the X-Men was the top selling book. Any subsidiary of the X-Men, X Factor, New Mutants, Excalibur, even because it didn't sell that much, but it sold more than books like Thor. They were the bread and butter of the Marvel universe at some point because people gravitated towards those teams. So when you put yourself in a position where we're going to take this and we're going to make it out of a horror movie and not even know, you just basically taking it and just saying, okay, so we just going to take this property and we're going to do what we feel like is good for it. Not even having the confidence in your major X-Men movies to say, well, these movies need to be making more. Ain't no reason why X-Men movies shouldn't have been breaking $1 billion at the box office. No reason why. But they weren't.
And all because of Fox.
Well, VG 2213, I kind of agree with you. I don't know about the different direction. I think the horror aspect of it would have made it totally different than any other hero movie out there. And I think that at worst, you just would have got people that understood there was another team out there that didn't know. And like you said, there probably would have been some merchandising dollars that would have been made. Not saying it would have been good, not saying it would have been great, not saying it would have been terrible. It just would have been something different that would have been out there for people to kind of view. I agree with you, Al, that the X-Men coming back, but great. I mean, not good, but great at a certain point. And through, like you said, the 70s, 80s, early 90s, the Avengers were second to the X-Men. And correct, no one really knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. But I agree with Matt in that aspect that, of course, in MCU we trust, in Feige we trust. So with the MCU having Guardians of the Galaxy, it made more sense than Fox, who doesn't have quite a great track record with putting out good content when it comes to the X-Men movies. Like Al say, X2 was probably cream of the crop. Then you probably go X-Men. X3 is like Spider-Man 3. We really don't want to talk about. First Class and the one out Days of Future Past were okay. The Dark Phoenix, once again, it's X3 reincarnate. We really don't want to talk about that. So their track record is not great. I mean, don't get me wrong, when those movies were coming out, X1, X2 were good for their time. They just don't hold up very well.
No.
And X3, it didn't even hold up well for its time. But yeah, they just didn't have a good track record of putting out decent movies. So, but great comment. We appreciate you coming. And
yeah, make sure for everybody in the chat room, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody, man, about the Comment Hall Roundtable discussion. Al, go ahead.
And let me just say this: my mindset, and y'all know this, and I don't mean to, try to cause any friction or anything of that nature. But my thing, the panel knows how I feel about the X-Men movies. Had the X-Men movies, the franchise, had it been more consistent, then I wouldn't have a problem with the New Mutants movie. But knowing what I know and seeing what I've seen and hearing what I've heard about Apocalypse, because I still haven't watched that movie. I don't want to watch it.
I forgot to even mention that one.
That was a trash.
And then with Dark Phoenix, I mean, those last two movies, you got Apocalypse and you got Dark Phoenix. Them supposed to be some $1 billion movies, like firm, but they didn't. I would be more inclined to be like, okay, well, I'm willing to see what New Mutants has to offer. But going back to the Guardians of the Galaxy, that was a big gamble for Marvel. Because like you said, no one knew who that particular team was except for people that collected. I collected the 90s Guardians comic, wasn't really keen on this newer team, but it paid off. It had the right things in the right places. And at the end of the day, the difference between Marvel, the Marvel Studios and Fox, is that, and this, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like Fox didn't care about the properties. All they were trying to do was make money.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, that's what that's what Fox was doing anyway. Just, I mean, look at Dark Phoenix again. Go back to that. They knew the people before when they were sitting in the room in the conference room and they were drinking on their coffee. They knew that movie sucked, but they said, you know what? We can sell merchandise. We can sell shirts.
I think they thought that I think they thought they had something different. I think they thought that they actually made up for the debacle that was X3 with that movie. This just me. I think that's what they thought. That this is a better version of what we put out the first time. We're going back and we're toning. At one point we said we went to Days of Future Past where we said we erased everything that everybody said was trash.
But they didn't.
And then they came back and said, okay, we messed up with X3. That's the one everybody hates. We're going to take this same storyline and we're going to make it better than we made it the first time. But they didn't. But
it is what it
Apocalypse was tragedy.
Ivan Ooze.
Tragedy.
We all know about it. We all know about it.
They actually showed the drawings they had for the CG to be Apocalypse. And they went away from the actual how the character should look.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they actually had the actual mold. I don't know if y'all saw that video where the guy actually had the actual Apocalypse mold that he had already made for the movie, and he was like, "Yeah, they told me they're not going to use it." And he had like a big paperweight.
He should have been CGI.
Power Ranger.
He should have been CGI.
Ivan Ooze. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness could set up Secret Wars as MCU's next colossal crossover event, and I will give all the credit here due to Larry, who has mentioned that before 2 or 3 times about one of the ways that Marvel could go, which actually just makes just sense with everything that's going on with the Skrulls and everything. Secret Wars. You know, this is something that, you know, I mean, I think I saw this week on Comics Time. Yeah, you saw it. Yeah.
I saw it.
Number 1. It's starting to tick. Now, that was a book that was sitting in buck bins. They were giving them away. I've seen people send eBay books. You know, you buy books, they put them in there with that. You know, just giving them away. Nobody was interested in Secret Wars. You know, now, because there's some hype towards it, with everything else, it's starting to tick up. And I think that the Secret Wars will be an excellent route to go, personally. Larry, what say you, man?
Now, if you go with the first Secret Wars, I give you that. I don't know if you.
I'm not talking about this. No.
I don't know if you want to tackle that last.
The one a couple years ago. No, we're talking about the old school.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a great way for Marvel to go. I just think that, and once again, it's just me. I think the things that they do now, they need to do quickly. And I say that because who knows how long the superhero boom is going to last. To me, this all reminds me of the 90s where everybody was comic. You know, let's give, and I'm just talking about comics at this point, but let's give everybody a foil cover. Let's give them a gold cover. Let's give them a hologram. Let's make a supersized issue, chromium cover. And everything was so huge at that point, man, and eventually it fizzled out. Marvel is doing great right now as far as the MCU is concerned, and I'm glad to see it. But to me, it's like we've already seen it before. So I know they got these great plans, and but how long can the comic book boom last? Because the comic books movies are actually making up about 60 to 70% of the actual box office gross now. So how long can that continue before this all dies out?
I think it ain't going nowhere no time soon, man. To be honest with you, this is one of those things I think due to the internet, due to these comic cons, due to this pop culture in general at the highest of high, I don't see this fading out anytime soon. I think maybe if this would have happened in 1997, 96, 98, I think you probably get like a dip off. I mean, but I don't see it coming with this, man. The only thing I can tell you is that they may hit a lull in where movies are. Their movies aren't back to back winners like it's been over
Right.
the last few years. That I can say I can see happening. They may dip a little bit, but I don't see this stopping because it's just they've got the material already written. They've already got source material available. That all they have to do is just go ahead and say, you know what, let's do this and come out with it, and then they can do it. So, Al, hit, hit your mute button, there, Al.
Am I there?
Gotcha.
Can you hear me? Okay. Testing 1, 2. Okay. To quote this guy named Wings of Redemption, look here, look, listen. Okay. I agree with Larry. If they do a movie based on the first Secret Wars, that'd be awesome. And the reason why I say that is because that actually brings in the option of bringing in super villains that would not normally be available, through conventional means. One supervillain that I think for sure that actually had an integral role. Now, actually, it was two. Dr. Doom, of course, and the Molecule Man. A lot of people don't know anything about Owen Reese, but if you do your research on Owen Reese, this dude is probably one of the, well, it depends on the writers, but he was one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe because he actually held the power of Beyonder inside of him. So that's exciting to know that could lead up to a Secret Wars if they use any of the material from the comic. In addition to that, if they do decide to use to go the Secret Wars route, that could be a way that they could bring in the black suit for Spider-Man if they choose to go that route. So I see nothing but positives with that, man. I mean, I own Secret Wars 1 and 2, and then the crappy one that came out in 2015. And even today, that man, you know that.
I'm sorry, man.
That's why you laughing, Larry, man, because I bought that book, man, and I was like, okay.
Secret Wars in 2015 was a cat. I love Jonathan Hickman, and once again, I love what he's doing with the X-Men. I love what he did with the Fantastic Four. But Hickman, that was a cash grab of epic proportions.
It was.
The books you had to try to collect to get that whole run. I mean, it was like over 100 books.
100 books. And crazy because the only ones that I collected were the main books, like I think 1 through 9, and the X-Men titles that came out that spawned from that. That was it. I wasn't gonna try to get all of them, but I caught wind of bits and pieces from the other stores as far as the side stores. But yeah, man, I would be extremely stoked about a Secret Wars movie, man, if they use just a third of the material from the original. Because I mean that movie, man, I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff happened in that series, man. Captain America's shield was broke for the first time. The Hulk actually held up a mountain that was probably it was it's if you can find, and this is for the chat, if you do not have Secret Wars that first back in 1983, it's a 12-issue series. Most comic book stores are going to have most of the series in like the $2 to $3 bin, with the exception of Secret Wars 8. That one's going to run you a pretty penny, but you could probably get that series if in decent condition for probably with number 8 for probably about $75-$80 to get it.
A lot of stores probably have it already packaged together,
right? Because number 8 is going to run it up as far as the whole series. But yeah, it is really good. It is really, really good.
Yeah, I was actually right as you were saying, I was getting my banner. I was going to say it for those who don't know, the cover of Secret Wars number 8 featured the infamous black uniform Spider-Man. And last topic for the night, I definitely saved this one for Larry, and that is the X-Men are hot as fire right now. Every store I go to, House of X is sold out. Powers of X is sold out. It is on fire. Larry, you've been reading this series. I'm just starting to get started to read it today, actually. And I hadn't read it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I hadn't read an X-Men book in almost 20 years. So, and everybody, I stopped at the
Shame on
onslaught.
you, man.
Yeah,
Shame on you.
yeah, I know, man. After the onslaught thing, I just was like, you know what, man, I'm done with it. Y'all can have it. But this is the first series I've actually picked up and read and getting into it for the first time in 20 years. So, because I've just been intrigued by it. It was seemed like a relatively decent story and a good solid reboot to me to get everything back on track. And this book is hot, man. I mean, it is selling out all over the place. People can't keep them on shelves, man. There was one time, man, you could find an X-Men book, man, stacks and stacks and stacks of them. Larry, your thoughts, man, on the X-Men, man?
To me, this just to me, the X-Men never went anywhere. To me, of course, you had highs, you have lows. To me, this goes all the way back to Grant Morrison's new X-Men run. I mean, which a lot of things are actually coming from that run now. Now people are looking for new X-Men 128 with the first Kid Omega. I mean, it's different things coming from that run, but to me, that was different. To me, when they made Cyclops Radical, that was different. Yeah, you had to take the X-Men somewhere different. To me, they just didn't get the push that the Avengers had at the time because of the big screen and things of that nature. But to me, the stories have been decent. I think what Jonathan Hickman's done with this run, this reboot, is taking things from the classic Claremont runs and refreshed them and put them in a way that is fresh to everybody. And I think Hickman has a history of long form storytelling that you're actually seeing in runs like Batman over in DC right now, where 1 through 76 or whatever number they are all intertwined. And I think you're going to get that from Hickman. I think the Powers of X and Powers of 10 and House of X are great books. Now, I'm more concerned about the spinoffs that are coming out. I think me and Matt were talking about that this morning. As far as some of the teams that are coming out of this, it's all going to depend on storytelling. But some of the teams they're coming out with are going to be very interesting. I don't know if people are going to. I'm interested to see what Al's going to say about that Excalibur team that they got coming out, or even the new X-Force team that they got coming out. But I'm impressed so far. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but if you haven't read number 2, especially, but both issues of House of X and Powers of 10 are great.
Al, any thoughts on this? Because I don't know if you even read it.
No, I haven't, because my books are up in
That's right. I'm sorry, you did say it.
But I'm excited. I mean, the reason why I'm excited is because I'm seeing what Larry just said as far as reviews and stuff, because I've been staying away from everything. Guy I follow on YouTube, Comics Explained, he's explained it. People are putting spoilers out. I mean, I already know some of the stuff based on comic book speculation. As far as the X-Men 96, we talked about that before the show. I would have to say that it is good to see the X-Men coming back to the way they were. Because, Larry and Matt can tell you, since we've been doing the show, I was kind of salty at Marvel for what they did.
Real salty.
Yeah, what they did to the X-Men back when they were trying to replace them with the Inhumans, even though Larry said they weren't trying to replace them. I still think that was a conspiracy theory, man, because you don't hear nothing about the Inhumans no more. But a few years ago, it was the best thing since Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But as far as it goes, man, I'm excited, man. And like I said, my books are on hold. My thing, and I've taken a look at some of the teams. My biggest fear, and this is just me as a collector, I have a pretty extensive pull list. I'm hoping that the price point of these books, these solo books, aren't to the point to where I can't, I want to be able, if the story compels me, because more than likely what's going to happen after this particular story is told with Powers of 10 and House of X, I'm probably going to stick with a few books, X-Force, that looks like an interesting team. But you know, the crazy part of it is, Larry, when I look at the team ups, it's like a lot of it don't make sense. Like as far as just looking at the team,
Exactly.
the dynamics of the team doesn't make sense. So it's like, okay, so it's got to be some kind of story-driven reason as to why the teams are set up the way, which intrigues me all the more, and it makes me want to say, well, I want to put all these books on my pull list, but I don't know, you know. So I'm excited. I mean, and it's crazy because to see, you know, I'm not going to put any spoilers out there, but you know, more McTaggart was featured in, what was it, 2 or 1?
Number 2.
Okay, so automatically when that came out, the books, her first appearance just skyrocketed, and I was telling Matt before the show, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, I have never seen a book increase in value because of a story that's being told years later. I've not seen that. Like, if it happened, it's not happened in the X-Men lore. But then again, you know, watching Comic Tom the other day, shout out to Comic Tom if you watch, and his crew, you know, I was talking to Matt before the show, and X-Men 305, X-Men 311, X-Men 312, they've gone up in price. And it's kind of exciting because it's like, okay, so what's going to be next? Because I got to go through my comics to see what I need to get before they start talking about somebody else like Cannonball, or like got extra powers and stuff. Like, okay, well, I need to go ahead and get an extra one of these. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm like, I can't wait to read them. So I want to catch up with Larry so I can talk to him.
All right, Larry. Do you have any hauls you want to show for this week, man?
That we bought, man, but you know, of course, I'll go over this, what we just talked about. That's number 1. Got number 2, which is a very hot book. Then, of course, I got the variants. I'm not going to show all of them, but got the Powers of X, or Powers of 10, excuse me. And then most of those are just variants. And let's see if there's anything else I want to show off. Nah, I'll keep everything else for next week.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to close out the show with our list out. And this is just off the top of your head. If you got them wrote down, that's cool. If not, man, then we'll just go from here. Just throw them out there, man. Your favorite top 80s martial arts movies, man.
I only have one, man, and y'all gonna laugh at it when I tell you what it is, because I don't even know if it's truly be considered a martial arts movie.
Jim Carter.
I'm not a huge martial arts fan. You know, Enter the Dragon was probably the pinnacle for me. But my favorite movie, man, is Bruce Leroy and the Last Dragon, man. It gets you catch a bullet with your teeth. It gets no better.
My favorite movie from the 1980s, man. Anybody who knows me knows that Bloodsport is probably one of my. I can watch that movie forward to back, and I just want to see Bolo Young do what he does. My second favorite movie from the 80s is Police Story.
Jackie Chan.
Yep. Third would be what's that movie Chuck Norris was in the 80s, man.
Chuck Norris.
Well, I'm trying.
Force 5, Octagon. He was in a bunch of them.
Invasion USA.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead and pull out some with Steven Seagal in it too, man. You went through all the rest of them.
I'm going. No, Out for Justice is my all-time favorite Steven Seagal movie. Just the pool scene, the pool hall scene alone. That's one of the best scenes.
I've never seen these guys, man. They just go in these places and just beat up on people and beat up 8-9 people and don't get touched.
He stuffed that man in a telephone booth and whooped everybody's ass, and then he beat that dude with a ball and a knapsack. He knocked the shit out of him, and then the dude came back out the phone booth. He put his ass back in there and walked out the bar.
He the equivalent of Sylvester Stallone, man, in those movies. Anytime Sylvester Stallone has a gun, man, he pops up, man, and it could be everybody around can have a semi-automatic weapon, and he pops up, man, and just stands there and kills everybody without getting hit. And these people all got semi-automatic.
You saw that Rambo trailer that the one that's going to come out. You saw it. Ain't nothing changed.
Hey, classic action though. I can't knock it.
Yeah, I mean, this. You know what, man? It's good to see these kind of movies when they come back out, man, because you just don't see this kind of. I mean, just like that's why John Wick was a breath of fresh air when it came out a couple of months ago. You just don't see that kind of stuff anymore. Everybody's coming out with rom-com, man. I mean, you don't see that kind of high-octane testosterone-driven stuff anymore, man.
But you know why? Once again,
I know why.
The comic book, everybody, if you ain't making a comic book movie right now, man, step away. Go on somewhere else, man. Nobody wants to see it.
Don't worry, we'll get one year after next year. Shang-Chi, we'll get one. So we'll get one. Al, what's your
Danny Rand out there, man?
I don't even know damn Danny Rand. No Iron Flop. All right, Al.
All right, I got 9 of them. Now 3 of these are actually movies that Gordon Liu, he played. What was his name in Kill Bill? Pao Mei.
Oh man, I forgot about Kill Bill, man. That is up there, boy.
So Gordon Liu. Okay, so I'm gonna list them. This is in no particular order, but Bloodsport, The Two Champions of Shaolin, The Protector by Jackie Chan, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, Last Dragon, Eastern Condor with Sammo Hung, Big Trouble in Little China, 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, and Fist of the White Lotus. Those last 2, of course, are Gordon Liu, along with Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, and then Big Trouble in Little China, of course. Even though it's not, I think it's more of an action movie, it's actually classified as a martial arts movie. So
really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Crazy.
Wow.
So I just put on my list. That's a classic movie regardless, though.
It very much is. Like I said, I wouldn't have classified it as martial arts, but yeah, that's definitely a classic.
Yeah.
Oh, Kurt Russell, huh?
Yep. If not for that movie, we wouldn't have got Raiden and Shang Tsung.
All right. Well, for those who have been with us all night, I want to tell you thank you for hanging in there with us tonight. And want to let y'all know that we're going to continue to keep pumping out content. And next month, we're going to be rolling down to Statesboro, Savannah. That's our next stop, our next comic trip stop. So we're putting that out there right now. So we'll be rolling down that way. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell everyone that you know about the Comment Hall and Roundtable discussion. Want to say thank you to our new subscribers. Want to say thank you to our new Instagram followers. Want to give a shout out to Chris Brenneman up at Infinite Realities. We enjoyed you last weekend, man.
Nice store.
Very nice store. And want to say just thank you for supporting us, man. And we're going to keep putting it out. Like I said, we're going to keep putting out the good stuff for you. And that's it, man. Al, anybody want to add anything before we shut it down tonight, man?
I just want to thank everybody for watching. We appreciate your viewership as always. So keep watching. We can only get better from here. So thank you again.
All right, Larry, the kid.
Thank you, man. Appreciate everybody who tunes in. And we know it's 3 personalities here, normally 4 or 5 different personalities. We appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the stores that have let us do interviews and different content, take pictures in the stores. Anybody else out there watching, hey, let us know if we can come to your store, if we can do anything with you, so we can not only help ourselves, but help you as well. So just let us know.
All right. And with that, the Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion will return after these messages. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.